I'm Jim O'Neill. I'm the chair of the board of the Advocates for Human Rights. Welcome to our virtual house party. I'm speaking to you from my living room because, well, you know. If you're a supporter of the Advocates, you know that a critical part of our support comes from the spring and fall house parties. I always find these to be fun, informative, and inspirational. We get together with friends, people who have similar concerns to protect the most oppressed populations in the world. We share refreshments, we chat, we have an opportunity to donate to support the work of the organization, and we hear short presentations that are educational and teach us about the critical importance of the cause of human rights. In these strange and anxious times, of course, we can't safely get together in person. So we thought we would replicate that experience by having a virtual house party that we're calling Human Rights at Home. We're going to get together virtually, chat, share information about the critical cause of human rights, and give everyone an opportunity to get involved with their time and with their donations to keep this terrific organization going. So please stay safe, sit back, get some refreshments, and be ready to enjoy human rights at home.
Hi, I'm Michele Garnett, McKenzie, Deputy Director at the Advocates for Human Rights. And like most of you, I am working from home, doing my best to help flatten the curve of the spread of COVID-19 in our communities. Unfortunately, federal immigration officials are not doing their part, and I'm afraid that it's not only business as usual, but a chance to expand detention and deportation capacity in the United States. ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, of course, holds more than 50,000 people in detention centers on any given day. That means that hundreds of thousands of people cycle through jails, prisons, and detention centers around the country every year, and that hundreds of thousands of people are deported to countries around the world. Now, with a pandemic like COVID-19, a disease that is easily transmitted between people held in close proximity to one another, hence the social distancing, and which has virtually shut down travel around the world, common sense would indicate that ICE would stop deportations and release people from detention during this outbreak. Unfortunately, that's not happening. Emergency appropriations requests seem to indicate that ICE is using this outbreak as a chance to expand detention by building new quarantine facilities and to build additional capacity to deport people via charter flights when commercial carriers stop flying. This is unconscionable, but it's also no surprise to the Advocates for Human Rights, which has been documenting human rights violations in detention for decades. It is one thing that can be fixed, however. ICE can stop arresting people and release people from custody before outbreaks happen in detention centers. That's why the Advocates for Human Rights spearheaded a letter to ICE officials demanding the release of people from detention and the cessation of arrests and deportations during the pandemic. Our phenomenal team of attorneys is working tirelessly to ensure that our clients have access to justice, despite the fact that attorneys can't meet with their clients and that the courts have had to close and reopen on very short notice because of the outbreak. Our phenomenal volunteers, attorneys, our interpreters, and our immigration court observers have been stepping up to help us get help to the people in detention. But we need ICE to act before it's too late. You can join our open letter to ICE by going to our website, or you can contact ICE directly and ask them to release them all.
Hi, my name is Sarah Brenes. I'm the Program Director of the Refugee and Immigrant Program at the Advocates for Human Rights. I'm here at home, sheltering in place with my family, my spouse, 3 children, a dog, and 4 chickens. Things can get hectic, as I imagine they might be for you as well. But thankfully, we're healthy and we're comfortable, and hope you stay the same too. For many of our more than 500 clients who are seeking asylum in the United States, sheltering in place is anything but comfortable. Many have fled countries after being persecuted. They're thousands of miles from their families, or they're held in immigration detention facilities here in the United States. Before this pandemic, the immigration system was already experiencing unprecedented backlogs. Clients had to wait years to have their cases heard. Now the immigration court has canceled all non-detained hearings through May 1st, and the asylum office has stopped conducting interviews of asylum seekers. Yet filing deadlines still need to be met in order to keep people from being barred from receiving asylum ultimately, and work permits need to be renewed in order to keep often tenuous jobs or in order to qualify for unemployment insurance. 2020 was our year to deepen our involvement and access for asylum legal services for individuals living in greater Minnesota and rural parts of our service area, including North Dakota and South Dakota. Working remotely has accelerated this process, as now we must schedule virtual meetings for clients who live just a few blocks from our office in downtown Minneapolis. Yet our client line is open, fueled by our staff and volunteer interns who are tag teaming in order to conduct intakes with individuals calling our line, and our National Asylum Helpline are also fielding calls to assist individuals living in other states with legal service providers throughout the country. This global pandemic has humbly reminded us just how interconnected we are as humans. As we look after our neighbors, we're thankful for the continued engagement of our volunteers in the work that we're doing. If you're interested in being involved, you can check out our upcoming trainings that we have this week and throughout the month of April on asylum and assisting unaccompanied children. We also have remote trainings on our website for individuals interested in assisting with interpretation and translation, court observation, representation at bond hearings, and being a part of the Asylum Support Network. And as always, we appreciate your financial support so we can keep our lights on and so that we can keep shining the light of hope for our clients for a bright future.
Although we are working remotely these days, we are continuing to carry on our human rights work at the same levels, but right from home. First, we are focusing on updating the information on our Stop Violence Against Women website. When families self-isolate or are ordered to shelter in place, the risk of domestic violence escalates. Victims find themselves in close proximity to their abusers, and the isolation from friends and families make them more vulnerable. And as advocates, service providers, and lawyers work remotely, access to virtual, up-to-date information is more urgent than ever. Our StopVile website, which comprises nearly 700 pages of resources to end violence against women, meets this very need. StopVile.org is used around the world. Last year, 150,000 people from 216 countries visited StopVile, and almost 50% of those visitors came from countries that are among the top 10 affected by coronavirus. As for our court observation, we have suspended our watch volunteers from monitoring courts until April 10th. So until then, we are using this time to evaluate, revise, and strengthen our volunteer training materials so that we can best prepare them when they go into the courtroom. Locally, we are continuing our work to monitor Minnesota's response to sex trafficking. We are still conducting fact-finding interviews, but by video, so that we can continue gathering information to inform and improve our state's response to trafficking in persons. Although we could not be physically present at the UN this March, we are continuing to advocate on domestic violence in Belarus, Bulgaria, and Croatia. Thank you for all you do to support and protect women's human rights. You make the world a safer, better place for women and girls, now more than ever.
Greetings from my home to yours, and thank you for joining our virtual house party. I hope you're enjoying some lovely refreshments right now as you connect with the advocates for human rights. I'm Amy Lange, and I have the incredible privilege of coordinating the Human Rights Defender Project, which engages volunteers in monitoring immigration hearings at the Fort Snelling Immigration Court. Launched exactly 3 years ago, this Immigration Court Observation Project has engaged over 600 volunteers so far, most with no legal background at all. Our volunteers range from students to working adults to retired professionals. They are an incredibly inspiring group of people dedicated to human rights and the dignity of immigrants. The goal of Immigration Court Observation, first and foremost, is to bring transparency and accountability to Immigration Court, because no court which operates out of view can be considered legitimate. It was perceptive feedback from volunteers about the lack of health protections in the courtroom during this COVID-19 crisis that informed a recent letter demanding the release of immigrants from ICE detention. Though detained hearings were temporarily suspended due to the virus, they've just reopened court for these hearings, which is a great concern. ICE seems unable to assure both due process and health and safety. We are deeply concerned that hearings take place when the state is sheltering in place and the public cannot bear witness. But we are making good use of this period of working from home, preparing reports on our work and our observation data. And our volunteer observers have stepped up to assist the attorneys in preparing bond and other pro se materials. For a bit more insight into this project, I'm eager to share some courtroom sketches done by one of our volunteer artists. Witness for yourself the power of the courtroom and join as the Advocates promotes human rights. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Prestholdt, Deputy Director at the Advocates for Human Rights, and I'm here to give you a little bit of an update on our Nepal School project. The Sanko Palabari Community School was founded in 1999 to provide education as an alternative to child labor. And currently there are 375 students in grades pre-K through class 10. 53% of them are girls, which is a huge accomplishment. And our students at SBCS are doing great. Our graduates have gone on to study things like medicine and engineering, and some of them have become teachers. And they really have been able to show that accessing the education can break the cycle of poverty in communities like the Sanko Palabari community in Nepal. Now you can help us support the school. It costs only $250 a year to provide a student with education as well as health checks and a daily meal. And now we have a message from the headmaster at the Sanko Palabari Community School.
This is Anup Paudel, headmaster of Sanko Palabari Community School. I hope all of you are safe from COVID-19 and request for safe stay. I heartily thank you to all those helping hands who supports the Sanko Palabari Community School for the quality education and joining your hands together with us for the children who are very backward of education. Thank you. Those who are connected with us, who supports us since 1999, and I especially thanks to all the team of AHR who took a great initiation towards the quality education of this Sanko area. I hope all of you join hands together with us in upcoming days as well. Thank you so much and stay safe from COVID-19. Thank you so much.
Whenever I listen to our staff members talk about all that they do for the advocates, I'm blown away by how much this organization accomplishes. Do you know, we run a national asylum hotline that links refugees from all over the country to hundreds of pro bono volunteer lawyers who represent them in their asylum claims. We run a school for the poorest of the poor in Nepal. Our education and advocacy program shone a light on human trafficking and changed laws to protect the victims. We're able to accomplish all of the things that we do because of our uniquely efficient model of operating. We involve volunteers, lawyers and non-lawyers, in all phases of our operation. That's how we're able to punch far above our weight. Last year, for example, with a budget of only about $1.7 million, we were able to provide nearly $10 million in services to the cause of human rights. Our efficient model and our record of accomplishment is why I know there is no better place for me to devote my volunteer time and our families' charitable contributions. Please, now is the time to donate. And years from now, you'll be able to look back at a time when human rights were under challenge everywhere in the world, and you'll be able to say, I made a difference. I was an advocate for human rights. And now here's our friend and former staff member and very talented musician, Patrick Finnegan.
In deep blue and behind the eyes, there flows a cool water of life where the silence echoes most of all. Louder than an ocean roar, and stars shine down from the sky dark with their universal spark. It's the light of where we all came from, and it shows through the eyes of everyone.
On this little spot in the heavens, we are here. Out in the darkness, out in the light, we are here. Living, breathing, constantly feeling, we are here. Searching, seeking, always needing, we are here.
In deep red and behind the eyes, it burns a hot fire inside where the air is alive with the sound of the mundane and of the profound. And stars shine down from the sky dark with their universal spark. It's the light of where we all came from, and it shows through the eyes of everyone.
Thank you, our invisible and faraway audience, and also our audience from the future, as we are recording this in advance. My name is Patrick Finnegan. This is my wife, Melissa, and we are proud supporters of the Advocates for Human Rights. I have been a volunteer or a staff member or a, what do they call that, donor? Donor, you all should be donors. Donor. For the Advocates since about 2004, so it's about 16 years now. And I don't need to tell you what a fantastic organization is and what kind it is and what kind of good work that they are doing to help out the most marginalized members of our human family. And especially during this COVID crisis, and something we all have to remember is that during a public health crisis, all of the big challenges of life are still there. And that's whether it's non-COVID health problems or whether it's immigration proceedings and asylum proceedings, and human rights needs are still there, and the Advocates has been doing such good and critical work to fill those needs. So please support, give, donate, and other synonyms. So we opened with a song that I wrote called Behind the Eyes, which is sort of a swirly thing about how we're all connected members of the human family. And we're going to continue, while I switch guitars here, with a song by the Minnesota minstrel, Mr. Jerry Rao. And this is a song called Victor's Song. All of our songs tonight in our short set are connected to human rights, or at least social justice and social good in some fashion. So this is Victor's Song, as in Victor Hugo, and Mel sings a lovely version of it, and I am honored to play her as her accompaniment. Thank you.
My name is Freedom. I'm wild and reckless. I can't be stopped now. I'm like the wind. I know no boundaries. I can't be chained up. Oh, you can't see me. I live within. I have a sister. Her name is Courage. She's strong as granite with nerves of steel. She likes bright colors. She's bold as scarlet. She will not flinch now. She will not yield. We have a father. His name is Justice. We have a mother. Her name is Truth. When we're together, we take down tyrants. We take on demons, the biggest brutes. Oh, we helped Gandhi to free his people. Nelson Mandela, we did the same. In Eastern Europe, we helped Valenza, the Iron Curtain, it fell like rain. We love the spirit, we loathe the darkness. We bring the light now for all to see. And if you need us, we can be summoned. Oh, listen closely to what I say. Give up your pride now and we'll come running. Give up your greed and we will fly. Let go of envy and you will find us. Let go of fear now, we're at your side. My name is Freedom. I'm wild and reckless. I can't be stopped now. I'm like the wind.
Thank you for your invisible and future and thunderous applause. We're going to continue with another original called The Next One Off the Boat. And this one I wrote about 5 years ago, sort of at the height of the Mediterranean boat crisis, if you like. And it's about trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes, really, and imagine what it is like to make the monumental and terrifying decision to leave home on a very risky and long journey to a potentially hostile reception. But because circumstances, for whatever reasons, are so bad at home, you feel like you have to uproot and make that journey and to take your family with you. I think oftentimes in the immigration debate, there's talk about people running for the borders, or in the United States they want to come and take our things, and that's not at all what people are after. People are after a better life for themselves and their families. It's a very universal, very human thing. And I think that what we forget is that it is not easy for people to actually make that decision to rip themselves up from their roots at home, especially if they have families with children, and to go somewhere else where you may have a hostile reception. It's not something people do lightly, and it's not something people do opportunistically. And so I think it's important for us to remember that, and that's why the work of the advocates is so valuable in making sure that people get the services they need, especially when they're trying to start a new life. Our cat has come to visit. Hazards of home recording. Hey, buddy. So we'll continue with this song.
Do you want to say hi?
Yeah, you want to say hi, Cody?
Say hello.
This is Cody.
Hello. Can you meow into the microphone? No? All right.
All right, off he goes. And on we go.
Uh-huh.
I am sorry to show up like this, but I'm not here to steal from you. My arrival is unannounced, but I can't go back from where I came. You can call me a reluctant traveler. I wanted to see the world, but not like this. I didn't want to leave, but I wanted to live, and that's the saddest choice of all. I want to be the next one off the boat, so that I know that I have made it. I want to be the next one off the boat, with a dream so real that I can't taste it. They say it's hard and complicated. Tell me about it. If only you knew what happened to us, you wouldn't wish it on an enemy. We didn't get any mercy from the 4 horsemen. Their hooves beat us down like anything. So please spare me your equivocations and your technicalities. I want to be the next one off the boat, so that I know that I have made it. I want to be the next one off the boat, with a dream so real that I can't taste it. You can call me a reluctant traveler. I wanted to see the world, but not like this. I didn't want to leave, but I wanted to live. And that's the saddest choice of all. I want to be the next one off the boat, so that I know that I have made it. I want to be the next one off the boat, with a dream so real that I can't taste it. So we're going to end our mini set tonight by doing a cover. This is probably the most famous song in our set, and you should feel free to clap and sing and join along and dance if you like. And if you're worried about singing badly, don't worry, we can't hear you. I can't speak for people you live with, however. And, one more thing I forgot to mention. We do actually have a band name. We are a duet. We call ourselves Dangerously Competent, which is also an accurate description.
Should you remind people to donate money one more time?
Yes. I'd like to make another shameless plug to donate money to the Advocates. For serious, please give. And also, if you could give through my giving page and get me closer to my mini goal, that would be really great. But I mean, you know, as long as you give them the money, it's
all good.
What's important. All right. So we'll have to remember to keep our mics a little distant because this one gets a little bouncier. None of you know this, but we have had an extraordinary string of mishaps and near disasters trying to get all of this rolling. The more cords and cables and components you have, the more that can go wrong. So we're happy that it's all working now. My chair is wood and I'm knocking on it. All right. Without further ado. Take it.
They paved paradise and put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and they put up a parking lot. They took all the trees and they put them in a tree museum. And they charged all the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Paved paradise and they put up a parking lot. Hey farmer, farmer, put away the DDT now. Give me spots on my apples and leave me the birds and the bees. Please, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Paved paradise and they put up a parking lot. Last night I heard that screen door slam, and a big yellow taxi took away my old man. to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise and they put up a parking lot. They paved paradise and they put up a parking lot. They paved paradise and they put up a parking lot.
Thank you very much. We are dangerously competent. Thank you for attending our virtual concert and, of course, for participating in all of the events for the virtual house party. Since I'm recording this from the past, I am hoping that it was a resounding, explosive success. Explosive being purely metaphorical, however. We don't wish any harm on anyone's equipment. So, good night from the Finnegan household, from us to you, and stay safe and stay healthy.
Thanks for coming to the Advocates virtual house party, Human Rights at Home. We wanted to end the day with a toast. If there is one song that I think could be the anthem of the human rights movement, it's Bob Dylan's song, Chimes of Freedom. And as far as I'm concerned, no day is complete without a little Dylan. So, as our toast, let's think about the chimes of freedom flashing. Flashing for the warriors whose strength is not to fight. Flashing for the refugees on the unarmed road of flight. And for each and every underdog soldier in the night, let's all gaze upon the chimes of freedom flashing.
My name is freedom. I'm wild and reckless. I can't be stopped now. I'm like the